on this idea I've expressed before about 7 different levels of content values. The first level, informational. This is the what. This is when individuals are looking to answer a question very directly. It's very transactional. This is where you will find SEO optimized content, information on webs. ChatGPT is dominating this area right now. It's not always 100% accurate, but I think this is where AI is really going to eat content marketers' lunch. You even have ebooks, you've got first-party data reports, which can be very valuable information, right? But they typically will provide information that answers the what type of questions. By the way, in the sales process, in the sales funnel, for prospects who are already in a buying cycle, this is very important information. They need very specific answers efficiently. And so this is primarily where I like to see informational content. The next level up is entertainment. I should say that informational content is king or queen when it comes to people in a sales funnel. The rest of this content really starts to come to bear when we talk about the right ICP, the right ideal clients who are not necessarily in a buying cycle today, but will be in the future. So entertainment. A lot of these examples are outside of B2B. YouTube crosses all genres, but TikTok, Netflix, Prime Video, Apple TV, Instagram, Hulu, and so on. We've been exposed to a wealth of great entertainment content over the past several years. There's a lot that we can learn as B2B marketers from these different types of media. So I wouldn't overlook them. How do these resources keep us so engaged? Folks will say people have a shorter attention span than ever. I don't think that's accurate. I think we have a shorter consideration span. So we decide in a matter of seconds whether or not we want to invest time in your content. But I will tell you that a lot of us are spending hours upon hours binge watching a lot of series on these different streaming networks. So ignore this level at your peril. Okay, so above entertainment, we now have educational. Because this is a B2B context, we are talking about the 95% of your ideal customers who are not yet in a buying cycle. You can still educate them though. YouTube is a fantastic, that's like maybe the biggest university in the world right now. You could learn just about anything on YouTube, Wikipedia. Who remembered the first time you discovered Wikipedia and you went into like the hyperlink rabbit holes? You had 2 different tabs open and you went from one article to the next. Wikipedia is a beautiful thing. Ebooks, Reddit, webinars, podcasts, all these sorts of things do play in this space as well. Trying to answer the question, how do I accomplish X, Y, Z? I know what I want to accomplish, but now what are the steps for me to actually do it? These are great resources to do that. And we can create how-related content for people who are not yet in a buying cycle because they're not ready to give us our money yet, but we still want to establish ourselves as thought leaders. And even more importantly, we want to establish ourselves as value leaders. We want to provide value to them, give them results in advance, give them small wins so that when they need to make that big purchase, they're only thinking about you. Okay, after education, we have edutainment. Now, why would edutainment be above education? We're supposed to be all serious and buttoned up. That was my imitation of tightening my tie. I don't remember the last time I put a tie on. This is the state of affairs these days. But why would edutainment be above education? Here's why. Because we live in a world where there's a glut of data, of information, of stimuli, right? And it's very difficult to capture people's attention, even when we have content that's valuable to them, even when we have solutions that are useful to them. It's hard to get their attention. Entertainment typically is really good at cutting across the noise. It's signal, right? People are tuned into like the inside jokes, certain shows that appeal to their personalities, whether it's The Office or something else that you really just, as soon as you hear the music, the jingle, the joke, the main character's voice, you're tuned in. So we want to borrow from the entertainment world, but we also want to lace it with education. We also want to teach them something while we're doing that. I've shown some examples here. Demand Wars, that's the show that I put together for B2B marketers. It's the Survivor. It's Survivor meets Hunger Games for B2B marketers. There is Audience Plus. They came up with the show called Easy Mode by Todd Clouser and Obed Duraney. Mutiny, a few months ago, put together this competition called Survivor, where they were teaching all about AI. And Hype Cycle has put together the CXO games. They've been doing that for a number of years as well. Little known community, but it's got a lot of big names involved in it. All in all, edutainment is really about allowing people to unwind, let their hair down, have fun, maybe laugh a little bit, but along the way, they're actually learning something. And this can actually be, whenever we're able to work emotion into our content, it actually allows people to not only retain the information that we're communicating and retain the lesson we're communicating, but also to almost bookmark. It's like a mental page one spot on Google. We bookmark in their brain, oh, when I think about this particular problem area or this particular niche in my industry or niche, I'm thinking of this brand because I remember having an emotional experience with their brand when I interacted with Demand Wars, when I interacted with Easy Mode or Survivor or CXO games. You guys get the idea. We're trying to educate them. We're using entertainment to do that. Above edutainment, though, is just-in-time education. What's the difference between just-in-time education and education? I'm going to emphasize something very important here. I want you guys to lean in. I don't want you to miss this. The next three layers in this pyramid of content value have the element of time incorporated into them, just in time. This is important because we're all so busy. We're also consumed. Human beings are selfish, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. We have to focus on our own well-being, our family's being, our business's well-being, and so on. We can't take in every single point of stimuli, even if it's relevant, even if it's good, even if it's useful. And marketers, brands, too often we are missing this. We seem to think that simply because our content is valuable, was created with good intentions, that people are going to pay attention. If I'm not feeling the particular pain that you solve at this moment, it doesn't matter that you put me on your nurture sequence and you sent me that email. I'm not tuned in. I'm not paying attention. At best, I am archiving your email. At worst, I'm deleting. You're training me to ignore your emails. Or even worse than that, I'm clicking unsubscribe or spam notification. Just in time is people opting in. It's you engaging them in public forums, let's say social, for example, getting them interested with your hook, with your premise, and just staying in front of them to the point where when the timing works out, when they're like, I've been struggling with my email nurture ideas for a while, my email nurture is stale. Oh, wow. Balaji has this thing called Bingeworthy Emails. It's a workshop. This is just in time. I'm going to sign up. When people opt in, they are paying attention to your premise, to your hook, to your offer. And it's typically a finite amount of time. This is not subscribing to an endless newsletter. That's not what I'm talking about. That would fit more into the education piece or possibly the informational piece. This is just in time. It's a short amount of time. It's going to get me from A to B, and it's going to get me a very specific result. So these are some areas where you could do that. I focus on teaching people how to turn their email nurture sequences into mini courses through binge-worthy emails. I made reference to that earlier. Beyond just-in-time education is just-in-time accountability. So where just-in-time education was, notice the acronym, do it yourself, right? Just-in-time accountability is done with you. So this is someone sitting right next to you. You've got that accountability. Oh yeah, binge-worthy emails is in there. So that's what we're doing. We have people helping each other to make progress. We all want to achieve a specific result, and there's people walking side by side with us to do that. That is way above just-in-time education, right? Just-in-time education gives me the information to do it myself. Think of Home Depot or Lowe's. For those of us living in the United States, you could get all the tools to do just about everything, but you still got to do it yourself. Just-in-time accountability, somebody sitting right next to you to help you with it. Typically an expert, a coach, a mentor, or even your peers. And then finally, just-in-time service. This is done for you. You give me the money, I give you the service, I give you the result. We all pretty much are selling some sort of just-in-time service, but the element of time is relevant, again, people, because it doesn't matter how well you solve a particular problem. If I'm not ready to buy that solution, I'm not going to buy that solution. I think that's self-explanatory. All right, so that was the 7 levels of content value. I hope you got a lot of value from that.